Okay, if you watch the first video, you know I'm like beginner hydroponics. I've got some commercial grade stuff that was kind of given to me, but we're doing vegetables. The light fixtures weren't really going to work out that I got. They were way too expensive to complete them, so I went ahead and decided I'd do my own lights. Um, the lights I did, the light fixture is 5 feet long, made out of galvanized vent pipe, and when it's got a spread, it's a spread of about 16 inches wide. The fixture itself cost me about 30 to 31 bucks for all the miscellaneous little stuff I needed just for the fixture. The bulbs were a little more expensive because I went with some pretty good lumens on the bulbs, so they ended up costing me. I've got 4 bulbs per fixture, so the 4 bulbs end up costing me about 60 bucks. Let's see. The tools you're going to need to build a fixture, and I'm going to do a walkthrough. I've already built all of them, but I'll do a walkthrough and try to make it as easy as I can to understand. You're going to need wire strippers, and these also work as pliers on the end. If you don't have pliers on the end, you're probably going to need some pliers. Hacksaw. Let's see, X-Acto knife, Sharpie, or some kind of marker that'll mark on galvanized tin. About one piece of about 33 inch 12-2 Romex. 12-2 Romex is 12 gauge with actually 3 wires in it. I'm only going to use 2. I didn't do a ground. Probably going to do a ground on the fixture later. I just haven't done it yet. Let's see. Drill, portable drill, electric drill, plug-in drill, whatever you want to use. And so this is a step-down bit. It is a different size depending on how far you drill into the material that you're drilling into. If you don't have this and you want to use regular bits, this is a lot faster. You're going to need a 1/4 inch bit, and you're going to need a 1/2 inch bit. Yeah, 1/2 inch bit. Tape measure, washers and nuts. I used some wing nuts. You can use regular nuts, you don't have to use the wing nuts, they're just a little bit easier. Didn't need pliers as often. And some more washers. Extension cord, I got a 12-foot extension cord on this one here. So the extension cord was, most of the stuff came from Harbor Freight, Home Depot. The extension cord came from Family Dollar. It was like $2.50. Basically, the way I started it was I determined about how wide of a spread I wanted, 16 inches or so. I got a piece of ductwork that it comes in diameters by length. So this is a 7-inch diameter. In other words, you know, when it's in the store and it's round like this, it's going to label it 7 inches. This is 7-inch and 50 inches long, or 5 feet long, 60 inches. So I figured that was about what I was looking for. I got it home, and I found the easiest way to hold it in position for you to be able to work on it, at least for me, was I took 2 just simple TV trays. These are just wooden TV trays you'd eat in front of the TV at a chair, and I put them at the ends, and then I spread it out, and it comes in a tube form. I spread it out and hooked it over one, and then spread out and hooked it over the other, and it held it almost perfectly, almost to the dimension that I was actually making it. At that point, you decide where to drill your holes. I did my all thread is what's holding it apart. I got a 36-inch piece of all thread. It was $1.97. Cut it in half. You may need to run a nut down on the end that you cut to just kind of clean up the threads a little bit. It was a little hard to get some of them on. I had to run a few all the way from the good end to the end that I cut just to clean them up a little bit. I came in 2 inches from the side and 2 inches from the bottom on each side of these, and then I marked me a hole, 2 inches, 2 inches, and then 2 inches, 2 inches, drilled through each one and slid the rebar in place. Now I put a nut on the rebar. I put a nut on there in a washer, and I put the nut down about 1 inch onto the rebar. So then when I'm sticking it through, it holds the tin in place at that position. You can adjust this nut out or in. If you loosen or tighten this one, it'll adjust how wide your hood is going to be on this thing. slid it on. That was the first thing I did because it seemed to work real well, holding this thing in position, spread open for me to work on the rest of it. At that point, I decided I would do my brackets on how to hang it from the ceiling. So I did the same thing. I want the support of the rebar to be what's being pushed on from the weight of the fixture. So I did it at the same position, 2 inches in. And I found the center, when this is spread, if you measure from edge to edge on this, it comes out to be 23 inches. So I did 11.5 inches from the edge and 2 inches from the end. And that's where I drilled my hole for this, which is my hooking system here, which is nothing more than just straight bolt hook or bolt loop. I did the same thing down on this end. Then I decided that I wanted my fixtures. My fixtures, if you saw when I picked it up, it's got 2 light bulbs, one going in each direction on each one of these fixtures, and I have 2 of them in here. Originally I was going to use longer bulbs. The ones I was looking at were almost 12 inches. Changed it at the last minute, so now they're shorter. They're like 8.5. I'll show you those in a minute. It ended up where I have a bigger gap here in the center than I expected to have. I probably could have used a shorter hood, maybe not a 5 foot long, 60-inch galvanized vent. I probably could have cut a foot off of this. I've got about a 14-inch gap here in the center, but I'm going to try this out since this is just for fun to figure out if, you know, how things work for me anyways. So what I did was I came in 14 inches, 11.5 inches from the side, and popped a just slightly less than ½ inch hole. Now the light fixtures you use are, I'm going to turn this over. The light fixtures have thread on each sides of them. Now I got these light fixtures at a home rehabitat store. You know, basically if you've got anything like I don't know, I think Carrying Place may have them too, but you know, any kind of recycling place where people bring in stuff when they're remodeling that they don't want, cabinets, light fixtures, anything like that, and they donate them and then they go ahead and resell them. These were really cheap. I got these for like $2 a piece. If your wiring is sticking out, some of these have a clip instead of thread on one end. If the wiring's sticking out through the clip, you can actually unscrew the screws on it and flip this thing over so your wiring sticks out the other end, because you're going to want your wiring to stick out the top of the galvanized hood. Okay, this is the same thread on each end, so no matter which way you flip it, it's still going to hold your nuts, still going to go on good, but you want your wiring sticking out the top. I didn't put my wiring inside because even though it's CFLs, still, why put it through a heat factor when you don't have to? So I drilled the holes, put in the lights, put nuts on the back end over here. Okay, so what I ended up with was your black and white sticking out, of this double light fixture and this double light fixture. My electricity is not directly above where I'm going to hang these lights, it's actually to one end. So what I did was I'm going to pull the wire for this fixture, which is going to be farthest away from my power source, to this one. For that, all you need to do is take your 12-2, strip the outside covering till you get down to the black and the white, and then strip the ends for the black and white for wire nuts, approximately ½ inch so exposed of the actual wiring. You want to hook the black to the black and the white to the white. Okay, and then we run over here, and on this one, which is going to be where I'm going to tap off to actually go to my power supply, my plug in, you know, in my wall, I'm going to have the white from this side, so it's still white over here coming out of this Romex, this 12-2, and the black is going to go to the black. It's going to be the white from this light, the white from the light I'm powering on this side, and the white from the extension cord. This extension cord, Family Dollar, $2.50, 12 foot long. I don't know if I already told you that or not. Most extension cords, if you look at them, this one does not have a ground, but I can add ground another way if I want to later. If you look at it, the plugs, there's always one that's larger. The larger one is your neutral plug. That is your white wire. Okay. When it came as a regular extension cord, it had, you know, a plug on the end of it that I had to cut off. just to verify that I knew which wire was which. I followed the neutral, the white, all the way back to the plug, and then I broke the plug in half and actually made sure we were still on the large plug, and it was the neutral, and it was. So that might save you a little bit of time. Let's see. I guess that's about it on how I made it. The light I used was a 4,000 lumens, 8,000 hours, 65 watt, 65 Kelvin. I really want to stay at the 65 Kelvin. Everyone said that's just the best for vegetables. So at least for the growth phase, that's what I wanted to stay at. It's a Long Star compact fluorescent. Long Star, I guess, is the manufacturer. And I got these lights at 1000bulbs.com. So it's 1000bulbs.com. They cost me $14.99 a piece, so 15 bucks. I like the way they shipped them. I didn't get a whole case. I got 16 because I'm doing 4 of these light systems. So the ones they took out, they actually packed the holes with peanuts, which was really cool to help protect them. And then on top of that, I like this box the way they sent it. It's got like this plastic protector on it all around to hold it. You see that's a pretty good sized bulb right there. So I've got one over here that's actually set up that I'll turn on. You can see what kind of light I'm getting. This room is 20 by 12. I turned this one on for 48 hours. I've got some thermostats in here. It increased the temperature about 7 to 9 degrees, somewhere around there. The grow area I'm going to be doing, I don't know if you can see this, it's going to be 5 foot wide and 53 and 4 inches, 5 foot and 4 inches long. So I'm basically 25 square foot area, and that's because the hoods are 16 and they're 5 feet long. That's kind of what I'm maxed out. I'm probably going to do 30 bucket setups, hydroponic bucket setups. That's basically when I set them out in the ground. That's about what would fit under that area pretty well. Here's my cost and expense stuff about what everything cost, and I'll bring the camera over here and try to get it closer so you can actually see it. And I'll plug this other light on and let you see what it looks like when it's turned on. Okay. There's a close-up of the hood in case anybody needs to see it. Wire set up. And that's pretty much my expenses. Size of what I plan on doing. And this has a lot of good information on it, so we'll get in on the light here. Let's see here. There's a lot of warnings on CFL I really didn't know about. There we go. Okay. And light itself. This one here I've got suspended from the ceiling with poly twine and a few like little hoists. I haven't decided exactly how I'm going to do the setup on this as far as the wiring. That's just temporary. This is what it looks like when it's actually set up. And you'll notice I got a pretty good gap here in the center. I didn't intend. I probably would have knocked this thing down a little bit, shortened it, or got a shorter one. But like I said, I was planning on using bigger bulbs. May end up putting something on the end here, kind of contain the light a little bit coming out of all the ends. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that or not. So, first attempt, it was fun. I enjoyed it.